All right, today we're doing something a little different. Usually Marisa and I are chatting back and forth, but this time she's flying solo. And honestly, I'm glad she is, because she shares a message that I think so many of us need to hear. In this episode, Marisa takes us beyond dance and fitness and into the emotional patterns that shape our careers, our relationships, and even our health. And I have a feeling it's going to make you stop and think. All right, here's Marisa. If you're a dance or fitness instructor who wants to grow your classes, boost income, and turn your passion into a real business, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll share the exact strategies, lessons, and truth smacks from building a thriving belly dance fitness brand. We'll dive into what actually fills classes and keeps students coming back so that you can build a profitable instructor career. So, lace up those sneakers and pull on those dance shoes. It's time to build the business you deserve. I'm Orit, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders.
Hey there, it's Marisa Guastella, Director of Professional Development and Master Instructor for Sharkey. And Orit has so graciously offered me her platform to come speak to you about some of the things that I've encountered in this long-spanning career, in my health, in my work, with mentoring, teaching. So I'm so happy to be here. And you may remember, I've done quite a few podcasts with Orit. Today, I am flying solo. One of the first podcasts that I did with Orit was on the 5 common fears of commitment. The podcast was actually called Do the Thing, Turning Passion into Action. Because a lot of times we tell our passions no because we're afraid to commit to them. And I talked about the common fears: fear of not being good enough, fear of the pressure, fear of getting hurt, fear of missing out, and fear of losing independence. Now, this is so relevant for people who have any type of passion. And if you're here, you have that dance passion, or that teaching passion, or that movement passion, or that music passion. Listen, I've got all those passions too. But passion is something that runs very deep in people's lives. And those outlets that we find for it, they're important. They're healthy. But it's not the only place that they'll show up. Well, it's not the only place that passion will show up. You know, as passionate people, we've got an edge to us. And why is that? Because honestly, I've come to understand passion as our inner rebel. The rebel who's pushing against something. And usually it's something that's been so widely accepted. And we're like, you may want to look at that again. Oh, it doesn't really go like that. So in the business of Sharkey, we're really passionate about teaching people correctly, using a system, being clear and direct. Less is more. And there's good reason for that, because ultimately we want our students to feel successful by the end of a 30-minute class. Now, recently, I've been thinking a lot about the fear of getting hurt. And again, you can go reference my other podcasts as I dive deeper into these fears. But there's something really interesting about the fear of getting hurt. And there are like emotional wounds that many people experience. And again, why is this important? Why am I diving so deep into the psychology of things? Well, because the psyche is the soul, and that's the entirety of our being and how we kind of operate. So it's not just what we know consciously, it's the things that we hold subconsciously, and it's a little harder to contact that stuff sometimes. And why is that important? Because if you've ever noticed patterns in your life, that's your subconscious speaking to you. If you've ever had reoccurring chronic body symptoms, That's your subconscious speaking to you. And hey, I've got the autoimmune trifecta. I've got lupus. I've got psoriasis. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. So I feel like I am an effing expert on the subconscious. And I've done a lot of that deep work to see what I hold inside of me. Is that the reason why I was able to climb from being, an instructor to director of professional development to mentoring people? Maybe. It takes a lot of inner work and a lot of responsibility to guide people, especially when they are looping in feedback loops. And I oftentimes have to break those feedback loops. And, I suffer from those feedback loops myself. It's human. But there's something really interesting about being afraid to get hurt. That's a crazy feedback loop that I think we hold so subconsciously. So when we're afraid of doing something or trying something, from letting that inner thing come out, when we hold it back, like we have a yes, but we tell it no, we're afraid that yes is going to backfire on us and hurt us. And that hurt can come in a form of betrayal or abandonment or humiliation or denial. Are there other emotional wounds? There are. But I'm thinking about all the ways we work in teaching and owning a business. We get denied a lot. We get rejected a lot. We get humiliated a lot. And we get abandoned a lot. Students will come and go. Classes will come on and off the schedule. We'll be denied raises. We'll be denied, the ability to change our schedule, right? Like, we just deal with a lot of shit. And it's par for the course in anything that we're going to do, right? That there's this outer world that kind of has this thing going on, and we have to learn how to manage our fears around it. And there's something in all of this. And the reason for this podcast that I want you to really know and do some work around it. If you see that you're stuck in some type of pattern where it's like you're working in a really difficult environment and you're afraid to speak up. You don't like confrontation. You can't find the words. You are afraid that you've maxed out and you don't know how to keep going. You're afraid to, admit that you don't know something or you need more help. Anything that you might be holding in that you're not feeling strong enough to speak about, please understand when you hold back, you cause yourself an abandonment wound or a rejection wound or a humiliation wound or a denial wound. We can re-injure ourselves again and again and again and loop that pattern because we're afraid. And I know fear is a monster and it dresses up so differently throughout our lives. Sometimes it comes as jealousy. Sometimes it comes as resentment. And the behaviors that we have around it will stay quiet. We might stonewall. We might change paths. We might not confront. We can do all these crazy things. And then by the time we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s, we look back at our lives and we see, oh shit, I left every difficult conversation right on the table. I used to be proud of that. But now that I look back at it, I can't believe I never said the thing. I was so afraid. Guys, life is too short. And if you want careers with longevity in teaching, in dancing, in mentoring, you have to be willing to have self-respect for yourself and have the conversations. They're not always going to feel good. that is not a sign that something's wrong. That's your growing edge. That's your growing edge to jump from the abandonment wound that someone else caused you, and you just keep recycling it and replaying it and relooping it through your own behaviors. You don't want to do that. And if you do enough of it throughout your life, I'm not here to be doom and gloom and play fearmongerer, but I can tell you from my experience, it did some wicked shit in my life. I have been able to trace back my lupus. I have been able to trace back all the autoimmune stuff. There's a physician, Gabor Mate. He's really popular right now. He's written amazing books. And he has a book about when the body says no. And, a lot of what I'm talking about is in this book, and I recommend it highly. But, I can see that a lot of the physical issues that I've experienced have been my own doing. And that's not an easy thing to say, but it's better for me to say it than to repress it. And does that mean every symptom that you have is something that you're causing? No, I'm not exactly saying that. But that chronic shoulder pain that you might have, or the phantom pains that you always have and the doctor can't figure out what it is. Or maybe they could, Western medicine is crazy today. We could diagnose everything through a blood test or an image. But, there's no such thing as emotional or spiritual Tylenol. We got to do the deep work, guys. You can go get certified. Great. It's not enough. You can go get the gig. Go get the class on your Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Great. It's still not enough. You can handle that difficult student in your class. Great. It's still not enough. It's never enough. And I know that's counterintuitive because we're also taught to believe we are enough. And we are. The issue is being able to hold two things true at the same time. Paradox. It depends what you're focusing on. Sometimes it's not enough, and sometimes it's too much. And sometimes you need to do the work to figure out how do you need to be like Goldilocks. So friends, this is a deep podcast. Yes, I know. And yes, it's tiring for me to have to go into these deep places, but I care about you. And I care about how your career is going to go. And I care about how your experience is going to go. So I'm sharing. I'm saying the hard things. And I hope that your inspiration to say the thing, do the effing thing, and know that there are spaces that are waiting and wanting the truth to come out of you. That passion, that rebel. There's a community of people waiting for your authenticity. Please don't edit it. Please don't hold back. Bring the beauty that is you and only you into what you do. People are going to love it. I promise you that. That's all for now.